As you know, I torment myself with the world of darts. I keep wanting to play it. I keep getting drawn back into it. I keep going to a tournament here and there, but I don't do much. But when I do, there's been some interesting signs. And I'm going to talk you through it. I'm going to talk you through the things I've changed and the things that I've been working on to see if I can make this a little bit more consistent. Because consistency is the thing that's missing. The ability has not gone. Despite the injuries, despite the fact I don't practice as much, despite the fact I don't really play much anymore, you can see that the ability is still retained. 102 average, 98 average. This is in the World Open in October of last year. I also went to a tournament in January, which was in Romania, and I had a good performance there, an average of 105.47, average of 92 as well, lost with an 84 in that one. So nice little bit of performance there. I also played the Super Series, as you may know, at the back end of last year. And one thing I spoke about in that period of time was the transitioning of the dart from hand to hand. The passing of the dart across was causing me the issue. And that sort of got worse. And I got some sort of insight into that. And what that really came down to was the onset of arthritis, especially here in this finger. I used to always put the finger on the point, where now I can't get to the point where I hold the dart the same and get the finger on the point. It hasn't stopped me from getting good performances though. Beat Fallon, who averaged 100, 4 out of 4 on the doubles, 100%, 141 high finish, 98 average. It's there. But how do we make it consistent? Now, the first thing I had to come to terms with was the fact I had to change my grip. And the grip changed in the sense that it's no longer with this one on the point, because it just doesn't come down. It's going to have to be 2 fingers and thumb. Now, I looked at this and the dart felt loose in the hand. And it was actually, when I was throwing with different equipment, I looked at maybe shrinking, making the barrel smaller, and I started playing things like the Mission Zero, for example. And I was getting some success. But then I looked at Phil Taylor, who threw very, very similar. And a lot of the time with these grips, you'll notice it's deep on the barrel. It's behind the balance point, which is why I was probably finding some success with that sort of bomb-shaped dart. So I built on that. So the approach to the Yoki is all the same, but the difference now comes with the problem we've got with the hand. So when I now hold the dart, I can get the finger on the point, absolutely, I can get it there. However, I can't get it now where it's the same amount of pressure, because if that finger's on the point, I lose it on the middle finger, so I end up feeling like I'm playing the trumpet a little bit, like it's a bit all over the place. I completely lose the grip. So now it's here. So it's here, this finger just goes loose, so it doesn't actually come onto the dart. So you see there, we're holding sort of middle finger on the balance point, finger and thumb behind. So that's where we are now. Now, this is unusual. The unusual part comes in the flight and the stem setup, because when you use a small flight, traditionally you're doing that because you want the dart to travel faster to the board, which would normally mean you're going to grip the dart closer to the point. The closer you grip to the point, the faster the dart's going to travel to the board. Ideally, it's the total opposite. So I'm kind of working against sort of common vibes. Now, what I need to do when I'm pulling the dart back, make sure that the point doesn't droop in the hand, because that finger's not on the point no more. We don't want the point to come down. If the point comes like this, so it comes below vertical, what's going to happen is you're then going to start to pop the shoulder into the throw. Now, some of you will say to me things like, oh, but Gerwyn Price. No, Gerwyn Price does not. Gerwyn Price will set the dart like this, and then he will rotate the wrist on the pullback, which brings the dart up. So don't be misguided by certain things you see there. So, but because I'm back here, this is the key to the throw. This is where I think consistency is going to come into play. Because I'm here, I will now bring it back and I will loop very slightly. So I will loop in the action. Now, because I'm looping the action and I'm moving the arm, this is going to take the pressure off the wrist, because the wrist isn't having to do as much of the work. The wrist is still going to have to move and rotate, but we're going to put a little bit more of it now into the shoulder and let the arm do the work. Now, if we look at the both sides of the arm here, we've got 2 joints in play that have movement and rotation availability. Ball and socket, condyloid, hinge. Elbow opens and closes, shoulder can rotate and move, ball and socket, or the wrist can. Ideally, I want to take the pressure off the wrist because that's where the injury is. That's where I get inflamed if I play for a period of time. So I need to put it more into the arm now. And that's what I've been working on. That's what I've been working on when you've been seeing me out and about playing in these tournaments. Well, I say out and about, I've played 2 in about 18 months. and the Super Series. That's the key thing I've been trying to work on, and it's now getting to the point where I feel like it's consistent. I get up and down when I'm in my office all the time having a bit of a practice. I think I could sustain that sort of mid-80 average now consistently with some nice peaks in there as well. So I'm going to put this to the test soon. But before I do that, I've got to make sure that I'm completely ready. And it's not just about being on the board and having the mindset and everything ready. It's also about being physically ready. Now, I've been out of the game for a little bit. It's very important these days. So I've got myself a little secret weapon. So I've been on the yesoul website. I've got myself a treadmill. It came in a few parts, so I did need Jodie's help to sort of put it together while I sat and enjoyed a nice Iron Brew Zero. Zero sugar though, guys, zero struggle, got to lose that belly. And the thing that I've always struggled with is that sort of having to get up, go to the gym, do the session, go home, shower. It just adds so much extra time to it. It'd be so much easier if you could have some professional grade equipment at home, just so that you could get up in the morning and get involved. And the thing that I like so much about this equipment is the giant monitor, 21-inch monitor with a sound bar, so I can just get up in the morning and you can cast to this, so you can watch your Netflix on it, you can put your Monday Night Raw on, so Tuesday morning I can just get up, have a wander on this, watch the wrestling, and actually be active while that's been at home. And the key thing for me was that sort of professional grade, because I've had home gym equipment before, and it's just been rubbish. Like, and then you get on it for a bit and you go, I can't really stick to this, it feels stiff, it feels tight, it doesn't feel great. This professional grade at home, perfect. So this is going to see me through. This is going to do me a good job. So I'm going to be able to train to a point where I can get in that fat burn zone and lose a bit of the weight, get fit, because you need to be fit for these long days. I'm getting older and the tour's getting younger, the demands on it are getting harder all the time. So we should be able to put a complete package here together that's going to be able to get that consistency. I want to stick with the slim flights, despite the fact that it kind of works against what I'm doing now, but by using the arm will allow me to get that arc. Because again, when you're using the slim flights, the arc's going to be tighter, it's going to be traditionally quicker to the board. These are landing perfectly flat for me at the moment, literally flat. So if I can get it on that bottom wire perfect, it's going to be advantage in some ways and disadvantage in another. The perfect ideal, what you want, is the dart just sort of sat slightly upright in the board. When it's flat on tops, it's a problem. 16s, it's a bonus. Look at the likes of, well, myself when I was playing in the World Championships. Look at the likes of Ryan Joyce, who was very, very good on that sort of target on that side of the board. And you can just lay the darts down on top. But hopefully, oh, there we go, dropping those. Hopefully you found something really useful in this video. It'll be an interesting journey to see if we can make something a little bit more consistent and see if we can keep hitting those peaks, because despite the fact I've not really played much, I've still been able to pop in some 100 averages. So some good signs ahead. I'll be doing some more videos, vlogs, all sorts of things in the near future. You just hit the subscribe and I'll catch you soon.